So in this chapter, teaching the N word, she's Emily Bernard basically going through different experiences she's had surrounding the N word and her going about teaching the N word to her students and how the like how discussions have gone based around the word and just then again like she also has like personal anecdotes and things like that that she's had with the N word and surrounding her experiences and things like that. Major characters we see her students Eric, Lauren, Sarah, Nate, Tyler, her coworker Todd, her husband John, her Vietnamese friend Ann, the interviewer Janice, her brother James, herself, yeah, the guys in the truck that yell the homophobic things and the N word. Yeah. What happens is she's just teaching her students just the discussion she's had with her students and with the N word and how they affected her and things like that and what she's gone through these discussions, and then like just personal stories again, like I said, with her friends and her co-workers and just her thought processes that have gone along with these stories and these anecdotes. These events occur like in 2004 and then like in the 90s, 1995 or 1994, one of them. Just like her teaching time in Vermont and yeah, around that time. I think the story is told in this way through like anecdotes, like to highlight just certain parts of her life and certain stories and then connect them back to each other. I think they like highlight like the negative experience she's had, the positive experience she's had, and like just like how they come together and things like that. She uses certain literary devices, like she kind of cuts her sentences not short, but like she uses short sentences to kind of like emphasize, highlight things, and then she kind of like cuts the stories off, like especially like a certain thought, like in the middle of a thought almost kind of, and it's just like it kind of makes you think for yourself, like like makes you sit with it a little bit. um yeah, I think she structured it this way, like, or how does it reveal itself? Like again, like it makes you sit and think with it, like when she cuts it off, like kind of in the middle of a thought almost, it makes you want to um do you think the same way, or like why is she ending it this way? And like what's the importance here? What am I supposed to get out of this basically? And then like it kind of makes you connect everything back, like with the poem again, or like not again, but like with the poem when she starts it off with that and then circles back to that and makes you connect everything back a little bit. um and yeah, like that. The themes I see emerging definitely like internal conflicts. Like you see like what she's going through in certain situations, like when she talks to her friend and how he was saying like his grandmother used to say the N-word and stuff like that. His like white grandmother used to say the N-word, and she's like, is his grandmother with us right now? And like but like that's just like her thinking like, is the N-word in the back of his throat, like does he ever want to say the N-word? And that kind of like makes you uh like it makes you see like the thought process she goes throughout this, and like in other personal stories of like in other anecdotes you see that as well, like what she's thinking and how she's feeling and what she's struggling with. I'm making sense through like kind of going through her thought process, trying to like connect with her. Like some parts you don't, like I wouldn't personally like agree with or see it the same way she would, but it come like the way she's telling it and how she connects everything back, like it makes you understand a little bit, especially like with the homophobes in the truck. And then like when she goes back to like talking about like when she was called the N-word, and then like why it hit her so hard and she didn't even understand why, and then you can see how why these stories sit with her so much and why they're so important. um Connects to concepts like vulnerability, like when she's talking about how she didn't feel good about calling Janice a moron. It makes you see like she's like something she didn't feel good about, but she still tells it, and it makes you connect with her and makes the audience want to connect with her, like she's just any other person. Like she still wants to like see, like, kind of like get approval a little bit, like, and we see that through these stories, especially that part specifically. Another theme I see would be like comfortability. Like, she's trying to make the people around her comfortable by not saying certain stuff and by allowing them to say certain things. I think approval is also like a theme I see. Like, well, you see like a lot of the white people trying to get approval, kind of like Nate, kind of like acts black a little bit, says, titles his paper nigger, and then like the tie-dye guy who like wants to be the cool guy that can say it. And then like I think her brother, when he was like teasing her and stuff, like when he was talking about the Quentin Tarantino movie and things like that, I think you see a lot of approval going on. And I think you also see that when she's talking about Janice in front of her students, kind of, because she didn't tell them, like she was talking about, like, I didn't tell them that she was black. And it kind of seemed like she was kind of like not feeding off of, but like, enjoyed getting the laughs and the conversation that she was having with her students from that, maybe. um it's teaching me that like you can do like little personal stories that like aren't necessarily chronological, but they can still connect back to the story, and like make it more like exciting to listen to. And then like also you can make references and connect those back to the story, like when she makes it to when she does the poem in the beginning, and then like connects it back to like her personal relationship with it. um it connects to like social issues, like, again, like I guess like the approval kind of people get like from saying the n-word, and like why is it such a desire to say the word. And like like why do people who aren't black say it so much, and like what's the desire to like say the word so much. I think it makes you think about that, and like just like who gets to say it, who gets the authority to say it, and who gives the authority to say it, because like she's allowing the people in her life to say it, but like other people of course wouldn't be okay with that. But it just makes you think, like, in certain spaces, like we talk about, in spaces, like certain spaces you can say it, like a white person would be able to say it depending on who they're with, but in another space they definitely would not be able to. And I think that's definitely what I see a lot, especially like a class, what we talked about in class with spaces. uh yeah, like certain spaces you could say it, certain spaces you can't. It just depends on who you're with, where you are, and things like that. I think the story is affected, like this broken up story that she did, and like making connection back to everything again, like with the poem and stuff, and then like just makes you like rethink through the story and rethink through everything she's talked about, and like makes you kind of make those connections for yourself. It makes me re-examine like certain people who like have said the n-word that aren't black, but it's like, like you're always like, people are always so ready to cancel and like pounce, but it's like, who gave them the authority? Like, why do they feel so comfortable saying that word? That's what I'm thinking about mostly, because like, cause me personally as a black person, I don't know if I could let like a bunch of white people say the n-word to me and at me, or like, in a discussion or whatever. But somebody's like her in her situation, she's giving them authority, the okay. So like, it's like you can't always be mad when like somebody is saying it, because why are they so comfortable? Somebody had to give them that space to be comfortable saying it. Not That's not always the case, of course, but like it's just like, the way people grow up, sometimes it makes you think like, okay, somebody is like it's not always just like a racial thing behind it, but it's just like, don't be so ready to pounce on it. Try to understand, try to connect, try to, you know hear their side of that before there's just like backlash and there's fighting and things like that. And I think that's obviously, I feel like that's what she's trying to getting at in her essay, because especially like with her husband, John, and he was saying the n-word, but she wasn't like, angry or anything, but like, it's just a personal like connection there, personal relationship there. And I think that's what we should kind of like be ready to do, is just hear other stories about it. So yeah, thank you.